Hello, everyone. Join in if you know the words. How is everybody? I hope everyone is doing alright. It's been a while. And so ends the song. There is a reason for that. And the reason is because I have been very, very busy. Obviously. The other reason is because not a lot has been going on. I know those are two kind of opposites, as it were, but hear me out on this. Not a lot has been going on that has been worth picking up a camera for and vlogging. However, having said that, I have been super duper busy with a load of other things, and I'm going to tell you about those now. I said in the last video, and in videos prior to this, that there wouldn't really be much of a vlogging presence here on the channel until things that were worth talking about were happening. And now there are things that are worth talking about, so I am going to talk to you about those right now. First things first is the trip to Canada. For those who are uninitiated, I am heading on a year-long trip to Canada next year, and things have slowly been turning through the mill, so to speak. Is that a saying? I don't know. It sounds like it should be. Things have been moving forward is essentially what I'm trying to say. The other week I had a Skype phone call. A Skype-a-phone call. I called on the Skype. You know, the Skypey Skybox phone. So I had a Skype call with this lady called Trina, who is based in Vancouver and is a real-life Canadian person. I've only ever knowingly spoken to one other Canadian person, and that was someone that I went to uni with. Her name was Ashley. It brought things home. It kind of made it seem all the more real. Like, here I am on a Skype call with a real-life Canadian person in real-life Canada, in Vancouver. You know, it kind of made it a bit more real. And me and her, we were just talking. She's my kind of personal trip coordinator, so she needs to know who I am, I need to know who she is, because we've been assigned to each other. So she was running me through all of the next steps to take, and the good news is there's not actually much to do until January, because at the moment they're still talking to and sorting out and sending off all the people who are flying out there for the winter season and taking care of all those people. Obviously I'm not leaving until May next year, so there's no real kind of flight information, job opportunities for that time available yet. So there's not much more I can do until later on in the year. Point two was she started talking about some of the stuff that's going to go on once I actually land, which also helped to, you know, panic me and bring things home just a little bit, you know. She's like, so when you land, we're going to have someone meet you at the airport, and we're going to take you to the place where you're going to be staying for a few days, and all that sort of thing. So basically they're going to put us up in a hostel for a couple of days, and then during that time they're going to take us through orientation, because that's what they call it over on that side of the pond. They're going to take us through all the training and stuff, like, not necessarily training, but just, well, yeah, training to become a Canadian, what it's like to be Canadian, what to do and what not to do in Canada, the do's and don'ts, general day-to-day living, you know, just what is it like to be a Canadian, what is it like to live in Canada, that sort of thing. And that sounds rather exciting, first and foremost. Then we're also going to be taken through setting up bank accounts, so that any wages that I earn out there can get paid straight into that. Social Shakira. My hips don't lie. My mouth talks to everyone. I am social. I am Shakira. These hips, they're for everybody. Socialise. Everyone. Enjoy it. Set up a social I can't do it. Set up a social security number. All that kind of thing. And also try and figure out, basically setting us up on a phone that we can use whilst we're out there, so I'm going to have my own mobile while I'm out there on a Canadian network and stuff like that, so I don't have to pay massive roaming charges to use my UK phone. And she said that, you know, there's going to be people there the whole time to make sure that we don't mess it up. You know, there's nothing worse than going to the bank, setting up your bank account, it's all wrong, and then your wages are getting paid to some Nigerian prince for all the hard work you're doing. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where we're at the moment. She also found any questions, and the one question I had for her at the time, because I forgot the other one, the one question I had for her at the time was, what happens about living? Obviously, they put us up in a hostel for a few days, but then what? You know, is that it? It's like, okay, welcome to Canada, enjoy your time. Or is there something else? You know, and she said that 80% of the organisations that they're partnered with, that they find jobs for people for, have got staff accommodation, which is awesome. You know, I'm presuming it's kind of like house sharing sort of thing, so you live with other members of staff or other guys who are on this experience, and the rent and bills and all that are just taken like straight out of the paycheck, so it's not money that you ever need to save up for. You know, the money you get is your spending money, because all the other admin has been taken care of. You know, the only other thing to pay for perhaps might be internet or something like that, which seems pretty cool. And she also said that if there was a job that I really wanted to do, but didn't have housing accommodation, then they could help us find a house or somewhere to live as well. So I'm not going to be living out of a cardboard box on the streets of Vancouver, which is fairly important, especially when it gets to winter, because I hear it's very cold over there. Did I mention this might be a long video? This might be a long video. Now would probably be a good time to go and get yourself a drink and something to eat or something like that, you know, just to keep you ticking over, because this might go on for a little while. The next thing on the list, this is very important, is I took a big step forward for myself. I mean, one could argue that Canada is a pretty big step forward. It's like a 1,000-mile plane journey step forward, but neither here nor there. As may have been apparent in the last video, things weren't quite right. I wasn't really in a good mood, wasn't in a good frame of mind, I wasn't particularly healthy, I wasn't enjoying anything. You know, I was very tired, exhausted, and just kind of not in a very good place, which is unfortunate, but it happens. Hopefully there's some sort of a contrast between that and this one, because this video is positive and good. It's talking about all sorts of good things. So I don't really know what happened. Like I say, I was kind of having a really bad time, and then something just switched. I kind of woke up one week and it was like, things aren't what they were. If you've ever played Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion, and then when you level up it gives you a motivational message to say, hey, you've leveled up, all of a sudden you're not a little lost puppy. It kind of felt like that. It felt like I'd just gone to bed, woken up, leveled up, and been given a motivational message, increased my strength, willpower and luck by 1 point each. That sort of thing. So this ties into something very important and completely kind of out of character for me. Like I say, this kind of whole period of time has been really out of character for me. I took a pretty big jump in cracking on and going to Canada. I took another huge risk as well. I sent a lot of people might have argued that this was a bad decision. I sent a message to my ex, who I haven't seen for more or less 4 years, so a long time, and we didn't particularly end in the best of ways or on particularly good terms, I don't think, really. We tried in like the weeks following the breakup, but it just kind of stopped. So there's a lot of time and water under the bridge, basically kind of apologising for a lot of things that kind of contributed to our breakup and for how things ended. So I sent them this message and they replied, and before I knew it, we was just talking like normal again, which is awesome. And then we arranged to meet up. So I travelled up to Northampton to see them, and it was like nothing had ever changed. And we got back together, which is amazing and made me very happy, which is awesome, you know. it is what it is, and it's an especially big breakthrough for me because that's not the sort of thing that I would normally ever think about doing. And I just kind of thought, you know what? Let's just go. Let's just go for it. You know, like I say, I kind of spent a long time. I've spent a good deal of this year feeling miserable. And quite a few years previously, to be honest. Almost, without sounding too melodramatic, almost to a point where I'd forgotten kind of what it is to feel happy. You know, it's never kind of gone beyond okay. But I would say that those couple of days that I spent in Northampton were happy, and that's how I felt. And I came home and it was amazing. You know, here I am, I'm jolly. I'm jolly again. I'm in a good place and I'm happy, which is amazing. This was a pretty big week. You know, I had my phone call with Canada, got back together with my ex. I shouldn't really say my ex anymore, should I? That's the point. It all kind of just, I don't know, I woke up and had levelled up. That's the only way I can put it, which is a really geeky and nerdy way to put it, but I guess that's me all over, isn't it, really? So that's two pretty big things. You'll see I've kind of leaned back and begun to relax a little bit, because leaning forward, that's a pain, especially when the video's gone on as long as it has already. And that was over the course of like 2 weeks, getting the phone call with Canada. That's what I kept saying to people, is like, oh, I've got a phone call with Canada. What, the entire country? They're all going to be on the phone with you? Yeah, I've got to get on the phone with the entirety of Canada, and they've all got to sit there and go, well, do we want this guy to come in? I don't know. I don't think. Probably not after my Canadian impression. Probably not after my impression of a Canadian accent. That on 1 week, and then the next week I went up and went to Northampton and had a great time and got to be really happy. And then I came back home to the flat, and then I began working on the next phase of my rebirth, I suppose. That is kind of what this is. Like I say, I've kind of gone for a very long time just feeling really low and not happy at all. Not happy. It's been a really bad period of time. And now all of a sudden everything seems to kind of be switching around. So I don't know if it's a rebirth or a reinvention, an epiphany, a pulling my socks up, getting yourself together, whatever you want to call it. But the next stage began not long after. I quit my job. Basically, is what it comes down to. I resigned from where I work at the moment and went and found a different place to work, basically. So I just found I wasn't really I wasn't enjoying being there. I was just very unmotivated while I was there. And I mean, I still am. My notice period is still in effect. I'm still employed there until the 7th of October. I'll start my new job on the 10th. But if I use the past tense, forgive me. So I hadn't been motivated at work, and it was just boring. I was getting bored and I was unmotivated, and in turn that kind of led to me not particularly enjoying the job, I guess. I'm trying to think of the right way to word this, because I love working with that group of people. I love working with the team. There's not a single one of them that I don't get on with. So it's an amazing group of people to work with. That's nothing to do with why I want to leave. And I enjoy that pub as well. I like working at that pub. You know, I've got a note on my phone full of ideas that I'm going to turn into a sitcom one day. I'm going to write a sitcom and set it in a spin-off of that pub. And there's so many crazy, cool, weird, wonderful stories and things to come out of that place. So many odd quirks that I don't think you can get anywhere else. That it's great. You know, it's nothing to do with that. It's just, for me personally, I need to keep myself motivated and not entertained, but just learning whilst I'm at work. And I won't say that I know everything about working in that place or indeed in that industry, because I don't, but I feel like I've kind of gotten as much as I can out of that place. You know, I did two and a bit years working as a bartender out the front, and then the rest of the 3 years I've been there, 3 years by the way, it's pretty good. And then the rest the rest of my time spent in the kitchen as a chef. So I don't know everything, but I think I've gotten as much as I can out of those jobs in that pub. So I went and found a different pub to work in, basically, and it's got different till system, different bar, different layout, different products. They change their products around like every couple of days, you know. So there's always something to be learning, and always something to keep me interested. And it just kind of came down to needing a change of environment, I think, more than anything. But it took a lot of stones to do it. I was terrified of handing my notice in, and of actually leaving and resigning from that job, because I've kind of given 3 years of my life to that place, and it's not a bad thing at all, you know. But I almost feel like I've become part of the woodwork, you know, part of the pillars that's holding the place up. And if I leave, it's just gonna crash. I don't know. I don't know if that's quite a kind of a arrogant thing to say, but whatever. So yeah, that's that. The other reason that I wanted to leave was for my own health, really. My physical health has not been great. You know, I'm ill at the moment, which is probably nothing to do with the pub. It's more to do with the fact that I'm just ill. I'm scrawny. You know, I'm quite skinny. I weighed myself when I got in. I'm like 10 stone 10, and I think for someone of my height, it should probably be at least a stone heavier. You know, so I'm kind of underweight as well. You know, I only have sort of 4, maybe 5 meals a week, like proper meals a week, if that, which isn't good, by the way. You know, it either means that I don't eat between those, or I have a really terrible diet between those. It's 1:05 at the moment, and all I've had today is a Snickers bar. You know, so I don't really eat at the moment. My sleeping pattern is awful. God, I get so little sleep, it's unreal. And I think a lot of that is just to do with the amount of time I was putting in, the amount of work I was doing. You know, I was I was trying not to use the past tense. You know, I work about 40 hours a week at that place, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just that it's quite demanding, I guess, almost. You know, like yesterday, I was working at that pub from 10:30 in the morning, and then I left at about 11:30 in the evening. You know, so 12, 13 hour shift right there. And I was there all day on my own without a scheduled break, because no one was going to be relieving me at any point in the day. So I just kind of had to take my break when I can and eat when I can. You know, and that's not a good way to work. For me, you know, it kind of put my health at risk a little bit. You know, and I didn't really want to be in that sort of position anymore. You know, I kind of want to get healthy and get fit in time for Canada, you know, because there's going to be so much going on. Oh, apparently I'm going to be learning how to ski and, you know, snowboard and all that sort of thing. I want to be fit and able to do those sorts of things, you know, and I'm not going to be able to do it if I weigh 10 stone and don't eat anything or sleep at all, you know. My days off, or any time where I wasn't at work, I would spend laying in bed asleep, not doing anything, because I'm just so physically exhausted, you know, and that's not the way I wanna be, really. And mentally, it's really depressing. You know, you spend 40 hours of your week in the same four walls, getting cabin fever in that kitchen, and then any time you spend at home, you're just asleep or too tired to do anything, so you don't get to see your friends, family, any of that sort of thing. It's depressing. So kind of for my own physical and mental well-being, I've kind of decided to take this other job as well, which is offering me between 25 and 30 hours a week, which gives me, you know, a little bit more spare time to rest up, to see friends, family, whatever, that sort of thing. The way I dressed it up in my mind was, I want to enjoy my last 7 or 8 months in the UK rather than endure them. And I think if I continued the way, if I hadn't had the past couple weeks, then I would have undoubtedly been enduring. And I don't want to do that, because this is where all my friends and family are, and this is where I've grown up, and it's great fun, loads of great memories, and I don't want it all tarnished. As soon as I leave for Canada, I go, well, I don't ever want to go back, you know. So, all change, all for the good. As if that wasn't enough self-betterment, right? Oh, it gets better. Okay, so, just to recap, I'm leaving for Canada in 8 months, which is a huge risk, and so far out my comfort zone, it's coming back in on itself, right? Took a huge leap of faith, a huge risk, and I'm going on my own, which is terrifying and daunting, and all those sorts of things. So there's that. Took a huge leap to go and see my ex. I don't mean ex. But it turned out great. I built up some courage and went, you know what, I'm going to quit my job and go and get another job. And it's all kind of come around. But the fourth thing that has really changed me, this is really going out of my comfort zone. I went to Subway and ordered a sandwich on my own without help. When you've picked your jaws up off of the floor, right? I have a feeling I may need to explain why this is such a huge milestone. I don't like making decisions. I don't like choices. That's probably a lie. I don't mind those things. What bugs me is when there's a lot of them. Subway, far too much choice. What type of bread do you want? How long do you want your sandwich to be? What off of our menu do you want? Would you like to build your own out of a list of 12, 15 things? Would you like it cooked or would you not? What salads would you like? How about any sauces? Would you like a drink? What drink would you like? Get the meal deal if you want, and if you do, you can get a packet of crisps or a cookie with it. Have you made up your mind? Which flavour crisps do you want? Which flavour cookie do you want? Do you want to pay by cash or card? Would you like to sit down or would you like to take away? It's too much choice! It would always scare me. It was daunting. I never ever went into a Subway on my own without friends at all, ever, because I would always rely on my friends to pick my order for me. They would go first, right, and then once they've placed their order I would follow and I'll go, can I have what they had please, but just without something and add something else, whatever, something like that, right? I'd take their order and then build my own out of it, and by the end of it it's a completely different order anyway. You know, but that's what I would do because I didn't want the frustration or the challenge of making my own choices for it. But the other day I got some stones together and I went, you know what? I've been having a really good couple of weeks so far. I've been turning my life around these past couple of weeks. I'm gonna go and order a Subway. Right? And so I got to the shop and the first choice, which door do I use, the left one or the right one? Second choice, is it a push or a pull? Because it's one of those really irritating doors that have got a handle on both sides. Overcame the first obstacle. Only just, like, I kind of walked past the shop, slowed down and began to move towards the doors, but I was so tempted just to kind of go, actually, you know what, no, never mind, I'll just go home. But I went in once I'd figured out the door problem, and fortunately there was a woman in front of me that was taking a bit of time, so I kind of got to stand there, look at the menu, check out the breads and stuff, and kind of work out in my mind what I wanted. She went forwards, the person behind the counter went, "Right, can I help you?" "Foot-long chicken pizziola in Italian bread, please." Who is this? Who is this? Who is this? This is not me. Where's the real Nick? And what have they done with me? Right? So, there was that, and she kind of put it together. Toasted? Yes. It's getting scary now. Out it comes. What salads would you like? Peppers, red onions, and sweet corn. This is outrageous. And sauces? No, thank you. And can I get a bottle of Pepsi and a bag of cool onion Doritos, please? Job done. I walked out with my sandwich and my meal, and I was like, have y'all ever seen the face melter meme? You must have, surely. It's like this really big, powerful, power metal. That's how it felt. Nothing could move me. This was the week that was. I don't know who I am anymore. You know, it's been so weird, so bizarre, but things are good. Things are good. The other perk as well is that hopefully I'll have a bit more free time, which means hopefully I can start doing Let's Plays again, because God, I've missed doing them. I want to get back to doing them. I need to find the right sorts of things to do, but oh, that freaking dog. My parents are whinging about this dog, right? They sent a letter to the council. The council are now investigating next door because their dog keeps barking too loudly at like midnight, right? Which is, you know, it's fair enough to put in a complaint. We got a dog near to where I live at the flat that does the same. Like, they let it out at midnight, it's barking all over the place, and then about 10 minutes later you hear this fella go, "Shut up!" Anyways, sorry it's so long, but I feel like I needed to kind of update you guys a little bit on what's been going on and how positive things have happened and how things are beginning to turn around a little bit. You know, because the last video I uploaded was fairly negative. I think a couple of people were concerned. I think my parents were quite concerned, but things are on the rise, things are getting better, things are good, and things are happy and positive, which is what is important. I'm going to end the video now, and I'm going to get my drum kit out, and I'm going to smash 7 bells out of my drums because of that dog next door. I'm also going to have some lunch. I will see you all soon. I want to try and get back to doing more regular vlogging as well. I feel like I'm in the right place too now. Who cares if nothing is going on? I feel like I'm in the mood now. Things are happening and turning around, and that's what's good. So I will see you all at some point soon. Hopefully we can get back to a weekly thing, and it will be awesome. Bye!